Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name's Amanda and in today's video we are going to be looking at repairing and strengthening the natural nails using the Kiki London rubber colour base system. And for this video we are going to be working on my own nails. Now the skin around my nails has taken a little bit of a battering the last couple of weeks as I did have a bit of a skin irritation. I have super sensitive skin and something just irritated it when I was using cleaning products over the Christmas period, and then just because it was a little bit of a stressful time, I did take to being a little bit of a picker with my gel polish and a little bit of a nail biter again. So my nails and skin, or cuticle area sort of skin, is not in the best condition, and my resolution for the new year is to take better care of my natural nails. I am terrible at picking my gel polish, and when I've got naked nails I'm terrible for biting them, so I'm going to make it a resolution to take better care of my natural nails. And when I've needed to take better care of them before, the first product I reach for is the Kiki London rubber coloured base. When this first came out, it changed my natural nails so much because it helped them more than any other product that I've used before. Now to start off with, I did do all of my cuticle prep off camera, so all that you see me do is wipe over the nails with a alcohol wipe. This is to remove any moisture or oils from the surface of the nails, and then I did come in with my Kiki London primer. The primer is a must have under whatever base coat from Kiki London that you are using. This eliminates any chipping for me and ensures that the product stays on my nails for a good 2 to 3 weeks. I tend to change my nails around the 3-week mark, sometimes a lot sooner, especially with doing nails for videos. I will leave my dedicated cuticle prep video linked in the description box below, and I do have another one of those coming up as well, so do keep an eye out for that. Jumping into what we're doing now, I'm coming in with my first coat of the Kiki London rubber colour base, and this is RB06. Now with my first coat I like to apply this super thin and really scrub it in to the natural nail. At this point on the first coat I'm not stressing about the colour or the coverage, I'm just really wanting to make sure that I'm working that in to the natural nail. I find doing it this way is one of the reasons why this has really helped strengthen my natural nails. Now what I will do is I'll apply this to all of the nails, and then I will take my stripe liner brush. You can use the stripe liner brush or the detail brush for this, and I will take just a small amount of that rubber colour base and just use this on the stripe liner brush to get as close to that cuticle area and the side wall area as possible. Sometimes it can be really tricky to get up close to the cuticle area with the bottle brush, so don't be afraid to come in with a smaller nail art brush and do this step. It makes it a lot easier. And then we are going to pop this first coat in to cure for 30 seconds. Whilst that's curing, I just want to take a moment to say I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas break. However you spent it, I hope the time was magical for you. And I really hope you all have an amazing 2024. This will be my last video for 2023. So happy new year, and I hope that I will see you guys all in the new year watching all the videos and all the upcoming launches we have for 2024. It's going to be a super exciting time. But jumping back into the nails, I'm now going to come in and apply my second coat of rubber colour base, and I apply my second coat slightly differently. So I apply it similar to how you would apply a builder gel overlay. So I come in first of all with a thin slip layer. So this is another super thin layer of gel like we did on the first coat, and then I touch that up with my stripe liner brush, making sure that there's none touching the skin or the cuticles, and then I come in with a small ball of the rubber colour base and work this down the nail, and this just applies it a little bit thicker, and it allows you to add a slight natural looking apex to the nail, which I really like, and I find this way has been one of the best ways to wear the rubber colour base system on myself when I'm wanting to strengthen my natural nails. This works brilliant as well if you've got clients who've got quite long natural nails as well, so they don't want to maybe have the bulk of a builder gel, or they don't need the strengthening properties of a builder gel. You can just come in, use this like a builder gel overlay, and give them that natural looking apex to the nail, which does add a little bit of strength to the nail as well. I especially like doing this when my nails are quite short because they do look quite flat, and just adding in that ever so slight curve of the apex, just, I don't know, I really like the appearance that it gives off. Now when I am doing this on myself, I will do 2 nails at a time and pop them into cure, just so the product doesn't move around too much because we have applied it a little bit thicker. So let's talk that through again on the next 2 nails. So I'm starting off with a really thin slip layer. As you can see here, I'm doing my best to pull that skin back as much as I can so that you're exposing the entire nail plate. This is a lot easier to do when you're working on a client, but when you are working on yourself, you kind of just need to pull the skin back as much as you can. And then again, with your slip layer, you want to make sure that it's only going where you want your next ball of gel to go. So if you do get any on the skin or the cuticles, you do need to make sure you remove this before you come in with your larger ball of gel, because with your larger ball of gel, it's going to flow and follow where the slip layer is. So if you get your slip layer in your cuticles or sidewalls and don't clean it off, then you're more than likely going to get the builder layer into those skin and sidewall areas. So I just took my angled nail art brush there just to clean up where I had touched the sidewall and cuticle area. And then with the builder ball of the rubber base, I just wiggle it off at that cuticle area. It was going to be pulled off really easily because you've got that wet slip layer underneath, and then I'll just walk it from side to side, and naturally, because you've placed it down at that cuticle and apex area, a lot of the product is going to be down there in the apex area, so then it's going to thin out as you're walking it down the nail. And I don't stress too much about taking it right up to the sidewalls because we want to have that nice curve to the nail and we want it to look quite natural. So you are mainly focusing that builder layer down around the apex area and then straight down the spine of the nail. So once again, we're going to do exactly the same here. We've applied our slip layer, cleaned up and neatened our cuticle area. You only need a small ball of gel. I'm going to wriggle it off at that apex area and just really gently work it from side to side down to the tip of the nail. And I do make sure that I'm capping over that free edge part of the nail as well. If you do need to come in and neaten up the product, you can again do this with your stripe liner brush, so you can help guide the product into place. Now this does self level absolutely beautifully, but you can also turn your hand upside down for a few seconds before popping it into cure to help pull that product into the center of the nail. So this is what my nails look like when I've done 2 coats of RB06. This is my go-to shade for on my natural nails. I feel as though it suits my skin tone beautifully, but I do love that there are quite a few colors in the rubber color base collection, so that there is a nude or a pink for everyone. There is also a couple of different whites and a couple of sparkly shades as well. Now I did wipe off the tacky inhibition layer that's left behind from the rubber color base, and I'm going to come in and buff over the nails. Now this step is optional. I think I have mentioned this in other videos before, but if I build a little bit of an apex with the rubber color base, I do like to come in and buff over the surface of the nails just to make sure everything is super smooth and that there's not any lumps or bumps that are uneven. But the other reason I wanted to do this for today's video is I did want to add a little bit of nail art to these for New Year's Eve. So I wanted to make sure that they're super smooth because we're going to be using some chrome powder, or we're actually going to be using the holographic powder. And with any kind of chrome or pearlescent powder, it will pick up any unevenness on the nail and really highlight it. So I wanted to make sure that there was no unevenness. I'm just gently buffing over the surface of the nails using a combination of the 100 and 180 grit side of the Kiki London buffer. Ideally, you want to try and get your application as perfect as you can so you can skip this step, but I just wanted to make sure that it was as even as possible. Then we're going to dust any dust off and then wipe over the nails with an alcohol wipe just to make sure that we have fully removed any dust, because another thing that really stands out in your chrome is if you've got any dust particles on the surface of the nails. So we gave them a good dust and then a good wipe, and then before applying your chrome you do need to apply a layer of no wipe top coat. It is really important that it is a no wipe top coat because you do need to use a top coat that doesn't leave behind a tacky inhibition layer. So here I'm using the Hema free no wipe top coat, but you can use any of the Kiki London no wipe top coats for this step. So I'm just applying a thin coat of this to all of the nails, and you can see this beautiful RB06 pink shade coming through a little bit more once you come in and apply that top coat. I do really love this color on my nails on its own. A lot of the time if I'm just wearing a plain set of nails, this is what I will wear. So once we've cured that, we're going to take the Kiki London Holographic Powder. I do have a dedicated video on how to apply this as a full cover nail, so I will leave that linked at the bottom of the description box below. But for today's design, I wanted to kind of have a silver holographic fade. So we're going to use the holographic powder as well as the diamonds glitter top coat to really add some holo sparkles. Now for a holographic fade, I haven't ever done this before, so this was a little bit of an experiment. I just come in using one end of the silicone tool, dipped into my powder, and then I'm just going to apply this just to the very tip of the nail. So as you can see, just burnishing it in, making sure that it's got really good coverage along that tip of the nail, and then I am flipping over to the clean side of my cuticle tool and just rubbing that back. Now you want to try your best to create a fade effect, so you don't want a straight line where your holographic powder ends. So I was doing my best to try and go up and down a little bit, but I'm not stressing too much about it being perfect, because I will show you guys how I create a little bit more of a faded look with this. Like I said, it was a bit of an experiment, but I really loved how the finished result looked. So, but you do still need to make sure that you're really burnishing that chrome in where you want it to be full coverage. So I really want it to be full coverage on the tip of the nail. So I'm just coming in with another small amount and really rubbing that back, making sure that it has all burnished in and I'm happy with the coverage. Then I'm going to take an alcohol wipe and my angled nail art brush, use this to really moisten my angled nail art brush, and then we're going to start just rubbing gently into the line where that holographic powder finishes, and this is going to help blend it in and create the more faded effect, similar to when you're doing a glitter fade. This does also clean up any of the holographic powder that you've got on your rubber color base that you don't want there to be. So down at that cuticle area, I want it to look as clean as possible, so you can still see all of that color coming through. And you can see by doing this, it just created a bit more of a faded look, removed a little bit of that holographic powder and softened the fade. You do need to be really careful that you don't remove more than what you want to remove. Then I still wanted to add in some more sparkles, like I mentioned. So I've got the diamonds no wipe top coat. This can be used over any color of your gel polishes, and it will just top coat whilst adding a beautiful glittery sparkle. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply it over where I've applied my holographic powder. And because we're going to be fading this back, and it is a little bit easier to fade back a glitter than it is a holographic powder, this is going to help soften that whole faded look as well. So I'm taking my ombre brush to apply this, just because it's going to pick up a lot less than any of the other brushes. Due to how the bristles are, you're only going to pick up a small amount, and it does allow you to just add a hint of sparkle without overtaking the nail. I don't actually want to cover up any of that holographic powder. And then because this is a holographic glitter as well, it just added to the holo, and I really loved how it turned out. So I'm going to pop that in to cure for 30 seconds. And as you can see, the holographic powder, I keep getting them muddled up. The holographic powder is around my cuticle area a little bit. There is some of it on the skin, so this does need to be cleaned up. But you do want to come in and top coat before you start cleaning up your holographic powder, because otherwise you run the risk of removing any holographic powder that's on the nail. At the moment, where it hadn't been top coated, if I come in and I start rubbing around the tips of my nail with some alcohol, I am more than likely going to hit the nail and remove some of that holographic powder from the edges, and it will be super noticeable. So I do advise coming in first of all and top coating. I'm top coating with the no wipe rubber top coat for two reasons. It seals in your nail art beautifully, but used in combination with the rubber base system, because it's also a rubber top coat, it provides super strengthening properties. I love it, especially for when my nails are in this more weaker, damaged state. But even when they're not, I love how strong it makes my natural nails feel. It's brilliant for anyone who, like myself, is quite hard on their natural nails, or anyone who does just have weak, damaged, brittle nails. It's my go-to top coat, I'm sure you guys know. So this is what the nails looked like once we had finished top coating, and something my nails were desperately in need of after all of the prep and the removal beforehand and all of that jazz was cuticle oil. So I've taken the fresh rose cuticle oil, I've applied a drop of this to all of my nails, and I'm giving it a really good rub in, and this just really feels amazing. So I'm going to give it a really good rub in, and then this is what the nails look like. And another thing that I love to do when my skin on my hands is suffering, so sometimes as well in this colder weather you'll find that your skin can feel quite dry, I take a small amount of hand cream and then I will just add a drop of my cuticle oil into my hand cream and give this a really good rub in, and it just takes your hand cream up a level and feels amazing. And then you get that beautiful scent from the Kiki London cuticle oil, because I'm using an unscented sensitive skin hand cream. So by adding in that drop of cuticle oil, you get that really beautiful scent coming through as well. And then it's also adding all of the properties that are in the cuticle oil into the hand cream. So it's a must have. If you don't already do that, give it a try. And then that, guys, is the end of the video. So I really hope you all enjoyed watching today's video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment below, and hit that subscription button if you haven't already. And once again, I hope you all have an amazing New Year's Eve. However you are celebrating it, let us know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.